Monster Cave.
Is this the same one? No, I think this is like I was over there. And that no, I mean that chair was over here, and then this is. It doesn't really matter. You don't care. You're not the one uncomfortable. I'm the one that's uncomfortable at the moment.
Wow.
Shouldn't have such long.
Hey everybody, welcome to Canceled. I'm Carlos Bocanegra, and to my right,
Cheyenne Covington.
And I'm Nancy Monroe.
boom, and we are back. So yeah, it's been a couple of weeks. I think we shot that other one like 2 weeks ago, and it's just because like we've been traveling and stuff like that. But yeah.
For me, it's overload. There's just so much going on in the news and then just in private life. It was just a lot.
Yeah, it just feels like I think that like I'm just like you said, overloaded and just over everything. I mean, the fact that like the Delta variant is coming back or is the new thing, and all of these people that did not get vaccinated are pushing me back into a place that I thought I was free of for a little bit at least.
Yeah.
And same thing with like Monstercade and reopening and stuff like that. Now I'm a little bit more careful, and we're all a little bit trepidatious about what our next steps are going to be. And
I'm less than I was before my shot. I know that I can still catch it, but I'm not afraid of catching anything now.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of it.
Yeah, I hear that. But I think about, we don't know what, if there's any long-term from breakthrough COVID.
True.
We don't know if everything's going to close down again.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm ready this time. I'm not going through that. I got plenty of toilet paper. I have a nice little supply house in my basement.
I've seen your bunker.
My bunker is stocked.
Do you have enough dots though? Did you get enough dots pretzels
I still have to. I'm working on that.
No, yeah, it's totally a thing. It's a thing. It's like, it's just, we're weary now. I think all of us are kind of weary. Just like, oh, not again. Oh my God, please get vaccinated. I'm looking directly at you. Please get vaccinated. If you're able to. I know I have some friends out there with some autoimmune diseases that can't get it. But if you can, for God's sake, just go and get it. It's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah, this is what I want to say about that. I was the last person in the world who wanted to get the vaccine. I have a lot of trepidations about vaccine, especially, but I'm about the greater good. Mm-hmm. I'm about the greater good. You saw me when I got vaccinated.
And that's true. When we got, so we went and got vaccinated together with another group of Monstercadians when they first allowed us to go and get it. And literally, I had to hold her hand while she was crying because she did not get vaccines before this. But I don't want to speak out of turn for her, but I remember her saying, if I want to live my life, if I want to rejoin the world, I have to get this done.
Right.
And you put all of those fears aside. I held your hand, you cried, and got the vaccine.
Yeah, for the greater good. I think that people feel so entitled. Oh, it's a mask, it's so uncomfortable, you're not going to tell me. Think about other people. Just please.
Yeah, and
think about it.
Well, because then we start to lose part of our humanity if we stop caring.
Yeah, it's one of those things is that I totally get that. I totally get the irritation, right? But I can't assume who has had the vaccine and who hasn't and why they haven't gotten it. I'm just imploring people that can get it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they should get
Absolutely.
it. If you can, do it. Please. Please, please go and do it. Due to the disinformation that everybody is dispersing on the internet, where everybody now is a scientist, forget about the doctors and the scientists who have gone to school.
The University of Facebook and Google.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. These people are studied. Come on. It's not that they're infallible, but at the same time, I mean, it's the best we got. I trust Dr. Fauci more than I do my plumber, who has read everything on Google that he can possibly read.
Right.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm sorry, Mr. Plumber, Roto-Rooter. I'm not going to be listening to you when it comes to COVID.
Well, if you know him that well, you need to stop clogging up your toilet. Eat a prune, dude. Eat a prune.
And I just want to say that you cannot put a condom on COVID.
Actually, this episode is going to be called Hot Takes. because
Hot
I think
takes.
so. Cheyenne wanted us to talk about something. Go ahead. What is it that you? Because he texted us yesterday and he was like, I got to talk to this.
I'd like to talk about our area and as we're in quote monikered the city of the arts, and are we really living up to that name?
Oof. All right. So no, look. I just think that it is so disassociated with what the art scene is. I mean, let's be honest. And I've totally had these conversations before. That whole art for art's sake area of town, which makes me want to vomit. I cannot stand that phrase that they just put art for art's sake. How many seconds did it take you to like think of this marketing tool? That's the most.
To me, that just means we're just doing art just because. Shouldn't art have a purpose? Isn't that what that says? Art for art's sake. I'm just doing art because I can do art.
Look, it's so ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. I just don't. The problem is that I don't think that the art, what is deemed art, there. And I'm not an art critic. I don't know everything about art. I don't think anybody does. None of us do. Even art critics.
Well,
even
it's subjective.
It's really subjective.
So.
But I can tell you this, that if the art that someone is making, and I'm putting that in quotation marks, if the art that a person is making doesn't have an impact on its viewer, its listener, then what are you doing? Like, it's interesting to me. I remember looking at an online article about the best bands in Winston-Salem. I think it was on Yes Weekly. It was one of those local newspapers that like, all right, everybody voted in what's the best band. And people were irritated because somebody of the best band in the city and best band in the triad was a cover band. It's like...
That's not how that works.
And yeah, there was like this big online discussion about like how cover bands are real artists and real. Stop right there because number one, Monster Cave, we do not book cover bands. Never have, we never will. Yeah. And it's not that cover bands and people that play in cover bands, musicians that play in cover bands aren't talented. I'm not saying that. But you can't tell me that that's art.
You still have to be original.
Yeah, you can't tell me that. And anybody that argues with me about this, let's say that like you're in a Don Henley cover band. I don't know that came from.
I don't think
this
that
morning.
exists, but go ahead.
I'm sure that was like an Eagles cover band, right?
Eagles, there we go.
So you meet Don Henley, right? And he said, you're like, I love your art so much. You're such an amazing artist, right? And you tell Don Henley, I'm an artist too. I'm a musician. Like I'm a fellow artist as well. He says, great. Well, what do you play? Your songs? What are you doing? Yeah. Like that's not like there's no unless you're taking a cover song and making it completely your own, restructuring the entire thing. Shut up. Like that is not, you are not the best band in the city. There are several other creative artists out there making original things, and you should be pushing yourself to do the same. So, hot take.
All righty then.
Well, the Arts Council did, I know, sponsor a few artists like to make their CDs and things like that. I remember that from a musician standpoint. I remember they did that, which is great, and I think that's wonderful that they helped out like original music artists.
Did you say CDs?
CDs, yeah, it was back in the day. Hey, that was back in the day. It's totally true. Watch, everything is cyclical. CDs are going to come back around. Columbia House is going to come right back and be like, "Where is my $30?"
You get those little stickers out and start pasting.
I remember like Columbia CDs, Columbia House CDs. Like what?
I loved that thing.
I know you did. Did you pay for them all?
No, I don't. I got a lot of my first. Well, this was in the early '80s, so yeah, I got a lot of my first albums from there.
Your first album was Columbia House Records?
I think it was. Yeah, CDs.
Yeah, they're not around anymore because no one paid that money after that 5 cents for 30 CDs.
I think it's still on my credit. My credit report. I still owe for that Springsteen Born to Run album from the 80s.
I remember.
I know my first one on it. It was Aretha Franklin's Greatest Hits, the double. That's what I bought on there.
I remember they didn't come with a barcode, and I would go because I was always into like taking CDs to used CD stores and like getting money. I did a lot of interesting stuff back in the day. With that Anyway, yeah, I used to go to like all of those.
Every time we shoot, I have to remind you that your parents are going to watch.
I know. I've got to stop. I got to stop that.
Oh God, do they watch this?
Yeah, they watched the last one
I haven't
about
told my
the
mom
sex
about
clubs.
it.
They watched
I
it.
haven't told my mom about this show.
No. So my parents, like you said, oh, they don't watch this show, and we were talking about sex clubs, and my mom like randomly texted me. It's like, hey, I saw your episode, and I was like, oh, you mean the clip that's online? She's like, no, me and your dad found it on YouTube. It was really funny, and I was like, oh, all right.
Oh my God.
But I didn't. Hey, I said I went to one. I didn't participate. I just looked, and I didn't see anything really either.
Well, that's
so
a
the
kink
Lord.
too. That's a kink.
No,
too.
that was the
That's
Lord
voyeurism.
protecting me. See, I'm able to tell the truth,
And then you
the
went to
Lord
church the
protected
next
my
day with
eyes.
your mom.
And I went. Oh, that is true.
What? I didn't hear that.
He went to church with his mother the day after.
You need to
totally
be dipped
true.
in holy water.
It's true. It's totally true. My parents said that, like, oh, we saw your episode, and I was like, oh, they saw that about the sex club. And then my mom called me the next morning and was like, hey, I want to go to church. Do you want to go? And I'm like,
I think I do.
yep. Yeah, I guess I'm going to church with you, Mom. But let me tell you about that experience. So I went to this church, and we're not members of this church. It's like one of those mega churches, and of course, my mom, if she wants to go, and she'll tell the family that she wants to go, and we'll go along with her. Good son, I don't have a problem. That's fine, whatever. So we went to like this mega church, and we're sitting there, and I tell my mom, I'm like, we need to mask up. I don't know what everybody's what their stances are or anything. No, it's a progressive church. We went in there, and the pastor, literally from the pulpit to an entire congregation of elderly people who were not wearing their masks. It was like we were the only ones wearing our masks. And he stated, I don't believe Fauci. He's dumb. All scientists are dumb. They don't know what they're talking about. You need to have faith in God. And I remember like there were some people clapping, and I saw my mom about to clap, and I was like, you better not clap for that.
Not clap.
And she was like, yeah, you're right. And she stopped, and so we were just fuming because like it felt weird. We were the only ones with masks, and I know everybody's looking at us right now. It was super weird.
I would have physically gotten up and walked out.
Well, it was at the end of the sermon, so I thought about it, but I was like, I'm not going to be dramatic. I'm just going to shut up. I can sit here for like another 10 minutes.
No, I'll
and then
live
leave.
for that drama.
I know.
To have that moment.
Church drama? That's not good drama to have.
Well, I wouldn't be in there in the first place. But if I were there, I would have got up and walked out. That would have been a good one. No, that's just, I don't understand. That mentality doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, it's not just that. It's just like, how irresponsible can you be? You're looking at a congregation of elderly people, and you're literally telling them that don't believe science. It was so disheartening and scary to witness and to be a part of that. Of course, we leave and we're just like, we're not going back there. Like, Mom's like, well, can you help me find another church to go to? I was like, yeah, sure.
I'll help her find another church.
Yeah.
I'd be more than happy to do that.
Because, oh my Lord, yeah.
Yeah.
So I felt
I'm
redeemed.
flabbergasted. I really am.
I
I'm
may
really
have-
speechless about
I
it.
may have talked about going to a sex club on a podcast, but I didn't get in front of an entire congregation and tell them not to wear masks and that.
Yeah, which is worse.
God will save you.
I'd rather be in a sex club.
Yeah, but all right. So we do have some things coming up. So Monstercade on the 21st. Right now, as of right now, we have, and these are tentative dates because we may move some things around if people don't get vaccinated and if this continues to rise, if the Delta numbers continue to rise. But so we do have like a leather party. Yeah, I know. On the 27th and on the 28th of August, the North Carolina Psychedelia Festival is going to be outdoors with the Vel Pretty Odd Mystery Plan and a few other bands as well as vendors. It's going to be awesome. So everybody get your vaccine. Please be vaccinated. If you're able to, please do it for everybody's sake and for the sake of Monstercade, right? And hopefully we'll see you then. So I think we're good.
All right.
All right.
Peace
That's a
out.
wrap.
Take care.